Hello guys, just wanted to give you a quick overview of the new OpenPLC editor that we are building. So this is the new editor that is going to replace the current editor that was based on Python and WX Python. This new editor was built from scratch using web standards and modern language, JavaScript, React. So it looks and feels much better, much newer. It's much more modern. And we also spent a significant amount of time just discussing and drafting UI improvements. We want this to look great, feel great, and be less cluttered, as most IDEs on the market today are. You know, the PLC IDEs, they're full of buttons, full of things that give a false impression of functionality, but in the reality, you just use a dozen of buttons, right? You don't need all of those, or don't need it distracts you from where you need to go. So we want to create a very clean, streamlined interface that has everything you need, has everything that is defined on the IEC standard. So it's very complete, but at the same time feels very easy to use. So I'll demonstrate here how to create and compile a new project from scratch on the new editor. So we can go ahead, click on this new project button, and it gives me this window where I can select if I want to create a PLC project or a library. I'll go ahead with just a PLC project. Let's call this OpenPLC demo. And with this, I can select the path where I want this project to be stored. I'll create a new folder here, OpenPLC demo, and select that. So next, I can pick the language I want my main program to be written at. So I can select either one of the 5 IEC languages. I will go ahead with the ladder diagram that is the most popular one, and also the cyclic interval that I want this task, this program to run. Right? PLCs are cyclic machines. They're running at a periodic interval, so I can define the periodicity here. So the default is 20 milliseconds. That should be good enough. So this is the main screen of the editor. In many ways, it's similar to the old one. There you have a project tree here on the left side, but we moved the library that was on the right side to also stay here on the left side with the project tree. I think that this way we give more space for your programming here and also for your console. So everything you need is right here on the left side. Along with the project tree, you also have your sidebar buttons. They are the most common buttons that you need to access, you know, to compile, to run, to debug, or even to search for something on a project, or to change your perspective so you can view just your code, right? So very easy. You can have all the buttons that you need right there. If you open your main program here, this is the window where you can create your programs, right? And in ladder logic, you create logic inside rungs. So if I create a new rung, it already displays for me a ladder rung where I can drop in elements, just like that. It's very easy to just put elements on a rung, just like hanging the elements in a cord, right? And to build more complex circuits, for example, to create a OR branch, I can only put the element under and it will create the wiring circuit for me. You know, I can move elements around, I can add a block, can move the block around, put in a different position. So it's very easy and fast to create even complex circuits just by dragging elements around. You don't have to wire anything or drag wires in different places. It also helps to make your code looks cleaner as well, right? Because you have just straight lines. The blocks are solidly connected. They are not, you know, in different positions where the diagram might look a little spaghetti, right? So it helps there as well. The other thing that we have here as well is the full IC library of components. So this is the library that is populated with the same elements and same blocks that you have on the previous editor, and all the blocks that is provided on the IC standard as well, right? So it's a complete library that allows you to create basically anything you want. But you can also create your own blocks and add it to your project. So for example, if we go here on this plus icon here at the top, I can select function block and create a block, for example, to blink an output. Let's call it blinky block. right? And same way, I can pick the language I want to design this block. I'll select ladder logic as well. And for the blinky block, all we need is basically blink timer or time, right? To define what is the interval I want my output to blink. And I want this to be an input for the block, and I need this to be of type time. Then I can create another variable that's going to be my output. This is what is effectively blinking, and I need this to be a Boolean, right? So I can go ahead and create a new rung. Um, Once I create this rung, I can start placing elements here, just hanging them around on the rung. I'll show you how easy it is to just place elements here. So I can put a contact, and I'll call this the out, and I'll negate this contact. And then I can search for a timer block. Let's use a timer on. This will define the amount of time that this blink output will be turned on. So I'll create a variable for this timer on called ton1, and then I'll search for another block, timer off, put that in series, and put another variable for that block as well. And finally, I'll close with my output, right? So what this thing will do is it will turn on this timer on that will count some time for the on period, then it will turn off, then the timer off will count some time for the off period, and then my output will oscillate according to my timer on and timer off period. So what is the period for these timers to work on? Well, that's the blink time that I receive as input. So I'll just put that right there, blink time here, and blink time there. And there we go, I have my block finished, right? So this block is ready to blink an output. And I can use this block on my main program as well. So for example, if I create a blink output that I need to blink, right? This is a Boolean type, and I want this to be located into PLC output, right? I can use my block here that I just created from the library. So if I go here and search for the block, blinky block, it's right there. Move it to my ladder diagram. I can give it a variable name, and it's already there, my blinky block. Now I'll just enable the execution control here. So the block is correctly set on my ladder diagram. So my blink time, I can define whatever I want. Let's put it 500 milliseconds. And then my output is my blink variable, right? So that's all I need. I can save now, and the project is ready to blink an output. Now, if I want to add some more complexity to this, let's say I want to count up to 10 using this blink output, I can go ahead and create another rung here on the bottom. And you see that rungs are collapsible as well. So it allows you to concentrate on the rung you're actually writing. Right? So this is a very neat feature that declutters your environment as well. So for the new rung, if we want to count pulses, we can do this using a counter. So for example, I can start with my blink contact that is blinking every second that I defined here in my blinky block. And I can go ahead and add a counter up. If I drag the block here, call it CTU1, every time the blink blinks, it will count one on my counter input here, right? And I want it to count up to 10, so I'll put 10 on the PV here. And I need to store that count somewhere. So let's just create a variable to count, or let's call it current count, right? And this is gonna be an integer. So I can connect to my current count here, right? So it's storing the current value of count here. And I need to reset my counter as well once it reaches 10. So when it reaches 10, it will turn on the output Q here. So for that, all I need to do is I'll create another variable here called counter max. And this is going to be a Boolean variable. And I'll drag a coil here and call it counter max. right? So once the counter reaches 10, it will turn on my counter max, and I will connect counter max here. So it will reset my counter as well at the same time. So it'll go from 0 to 10 and then reset and 0 to 10 again. All good. So I can go ahead and save that again, right? And I'm ready to compile and run and see how this thing runs. So if I click on this button, this will call the compiler and generate the code for my design. And you see that it compiled successfully. So I'm ready to use that file on OpenPLC runtime to run this. So let's open OpenPLC runtime. I have a window here with the runtime running. And I can go ahead and upload a new program here under the Programs tab. I'll pick a file. This is the file that I've just built, program file. And then I'll upload that. I'll call it OpenPLC demo and upload. So once I upload my compiled program file, we'll just digest that and make it finish the compilation to make it run natively on the OpenPLC soft runtime. So now that everything is there, I can start my PLC, and right away I can see on monitoring that I have my blink output blinking. Well, I can't see the count yet because I haven't defined a memory location for that count to reside. So if I go back to my project here, current count, there's no location for that. Let's just define one, so we'll be able to see it there as well. I'll compile the project again. I'll go back to my runtime, and I'll just change this OpenPLC demo program. I'll upload another one. This is the new one that I just compiled. Load that again. So now it's compiling the new program. You see there's another location there, QW0. So if I run it, sure enough, I can see that my counter is working, right? It's counting up to 10. Every time the blink is true, when it reaches 10, it goes back to 0, right? So it works. Very easily, in just a couple minutes, I was able to create some logic using the new OpenPLC editor. It looks very fluid, it's very fast to add elements, and you can add the amount of complexity you want. So if you want to add more elements under, around, before, you can create all the complexity you want, put contacts in parallel, in series, move blocks around. It's all very fast and very fluid. Nothing breaks, nothing is crashing or hanging or busy waiting. So we're very happy, very proud with the software we've created so far. It's still in beta, it's still a work in progress, but it's already very promising. And I'm very excited and happy to share that with all of you. So thank you so much.